Why? At 12 a.m. at night, why do you need to have the pressure to be productive? Rest is not you being lazy or it's a selfish act. And some of the people, and I've been there myself, they ignore signs of burnout or signs that they need to rest their body. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to thrive ultimately. And consequently, you're not going to basically handle your work very well. Marhaba, and how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Yuwab. I'm your host, Saeed Al-Ghafri. In Yuwab, we always keep it real. Thank you so much for being with me, and thank whoever shared this episode with you. And if you're here with me, it tells me that you make growth and focus a priority in your life and also work. You know, that's why I'm here. I'm here because I understand your concerns and your frustrations. I've been there and I've done it. All right? Today, you know, when people think of rest, the first thing that they basically have in mind is you having a bed next to your office and sleeping. That's the misunderstanding that people have when it comes to rest. And rest is not about work. When people think rest, they think that you don't do your work. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that your mind and body need to recharge. Seriously, that's not even negotiable. And for many, rest feels like it's elusive, it's something that we should not even think about doing. I'll tell you why. Some people have anxiety very high, really. Where it's really unnecessary, and they have this autopilot go mood happening all the time. And it's really not good. What happens is that when your mind is working, you're not resting. Your heart is beating, although you're not really exercising, but your heart is beating so high. The second thing is, you basically have the pressure to be productive. Why? At 12 a.m. at night. Why do you need to have the pressure to be productive? And the last thing is, my friend, technology. Technology is amazing, but sometimes it's a really distraction that we shouldn't. I'll share with you a story before we go into today's episode. I really coached someone one time, all right? And this guy was thriving about work and life balance, thriving in a really words way. Saying, listen, we need to do that, we need to do this, And honestly, the guy was high on anxiety, really high. Sometimes it's unnecessary when I spoke to him. So we really took it easy, where I had to basically speak to the people who report to him to understand, is his anxiety really high? And apparently it was. So we had to basically work with him in a way where we ease that, because you want to have that capacity in your brain to basically take a break. Now, what happens is that the lesson here, the guy came to me and he was absolutely burning out himself, honestly. And that's something that we don't want to reach when it comes to that. So don't really think that not having a rest is you being more productive. Honestly, I'll share with you another story. And this happened to me recently, honestly, when I was in the corporate world. At that time, I was very much under a lot of pressure. And someone like me who teaches mindfulness and really coach and have a podcast, you would say, this guy wouldn't have it. But I did go through it. I was traveling. And because of a project and because of the anxiety I got from all levels, I was literally checking my emails and working, you cannot imagine, in a time zone where people are asleep and I'm awake and I'm sending emails and sending meeting requests and all that. Honestly, it was not a break. Now, what happens ultimately is that people really did not do the work. They were not responsible. They were like, you know what? Saeed is there, he's working, and let's see what he says. Guess what happens? I honestly came to work, brought some nice gifts and chocolate to everyone. And honestly, the second day, I really had a burnout. Although I was on a holiday, I was supposed to be on a holiday, much rested, but honestly, completely burnout. And the second day felt as if someone was slapping me on the face, kind of a feeling when I walked into the office. So this tells you that rest is very important. Rest is not you being lazy or it's a selfish act. You have to rest at work or even at home, you know? And again, rest is not only at work. You work from, let's say, 8 to 4, but you can't really work from then 5 to 8 at night or 9. You have to rest. It's very important. Now, when we think about rest, think about these 4 things. The first thing here is the physical rest. And this one is all about sleep. When you go to sleep, just think of it as a holistic thing. It's like as if you want to go for prayers. Your intention should be, I'm praying or I'm sleeping, period. Sleep. And I wish if they have a law where they say there is a nap at 12 or 1 p.m. because it's very important. And some people really put a nap as you being lazy or not, or don't want to do your work. But again, a nap could be maybe closing my eyes for 5 or 10 minutes and doing nothing. That basically recharge your mind. It's a really powerful thing that you should do. Or maybe sometimes slowing down when you are basically at the top of things. Slowing down sometimes give you that physical rest. The second thing is the mental rest. And this is important because, when you go from one project to the other, whether it is phased over a year, a day, a month, it's important to have some breaks because it's like a cycle. You're at the top. If you don't take a break, you're just going to crash. So when you have a break of 5 minutes, 10 minutes within a day, it really improves your way to basically problem solve. And the third one here is emotional rest. Sometimes we worry too much, honestly. Sometimes that worry or being anxious or being that. Sometimes when you let go, your mind just frees up and you can do a lot of stuff. Honestly, a lot of stuff. And the last one here is social rest. When you spend time with people who are draining you or who are basically pushing you down, what will happen? You're just going to basically be always unfulfilled compared to people who are really recharging you or really speaking your same language. It's really, really important. Let me share with you a story. This is basically related to some of these. I remember one time I called someone. He was going through the 4 things: physical, mental, emotional, and social. Honestly, everything was going wrong for that person. And honestly, I told him, why don't you just go somewhere? Just go somewhere. Stay away from work, disconnect from technology, disconnect from that. Because the guy had to deliver a strategy. It was very important for his company because he was owning that company. And that was supposed to be something that would make his company much more important for his client. And guess what? He made the best strategy because he disconnected. It's not like he was an idiot. No, he just needed to take a break, honestly. This exactly happened to me, honestly. I remember at time, I was like emotionally very much not rested because I couldn't let go of the fact that I'm going to exit the corporate world. I was very much attached to the corporate. I could not see clearly the world. I had to go somewhere else and disconnect completely from the whole thing. And I came back very much recharged. So again, rest is very important. And what I learned about how to basically do it in a good way is you will have to go through this approach. And it's a very simple approach. It's just 3 steps. The first one is, in a day or in a month, try to have a complete disconnect. Let's say in a day, let's say in your 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 or 4 hours. have like those 5 minutes. Don't do anything. Don't even check the phone, because sometimes when you check your phone, you get a Teams message or notification, you get an email notification, and it just drains you. Try to have a complete disconnect from that. You can take a walk, you can reach to someone. It's just 5 minutes. You just want to have that reset happening to you. And as I mentioned, when you have a boundary on technology, it's very important. Let's say you go on a leave. Try to have a boundary. Maybe you say, okay, every 3 days I'm going to check my email. Unless something is going there, then it's fine. But most of the time, try to have that disconnection. And if you're at home, honestly, if you're at home, spend that time with your kids and family, or maybe loved ones. Turn off your notification maybe when you sleep, honestly. Seriously, I mean, it's very important, especially when I know people. I remember one guy was telling me, I called you. I'm like, okay, I'm sleeping, So sleep is very important. So set those boundaries. Very important. And, think of rest as not really being lazy. It's really a productive fuel that will boost your energy, make you much more creative, and make you much more focused, my friend. Honestly, you don't have any option but to basically have that rest. What happens is that when I see some of the things that I see from people is that they think rest is really guilt, as if they've done something very big or something really shameful. Trust me, rest is not an option. It's really essential. And honestly, you need to have a mindset that I need to have it. Really, I need to have it. And some of the people, and I've been there myself, they ignore signs of burnout or signs that they need to rest their body. And they think that they can push and they can push and they can push. Yeah, Habibi, even if you have a car that is basically at the end of its life, or basically at the end of, let's say, a maintenance cycle, you have to really maintain it. So don't push. Look for those signs, because it's very important to basically take care of yourself. And some of the things that I see is that people really tend to rest in a chaotic environment. What I mean by that is that it's a place where you can't really focus and rest. You need to have a space which is very holistic, where you can really make rest a priority. And I gave you that example when I traveled, stay away from my life, which was not very comfortable, but I came back very much reset. Now, just to recap on rest, the first thing that you need to keep in mind is recognize the different kind of rest that you need to have. Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it emotional? What is it? And don't go with a big bang kind of a rest. Start small and make it really intentional when it comes to basically having a rest. When you have that done for you, then have those nice boundaries in place. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. No technology, no this guy, no toxic person to talk to, etc. Legitimate and holistic. And always listen to your body and mind. Because sometimes burnout doesn't know who you are and it will hit you, and then you don't want to be crash. All right? This is very important in today's life, because today's life is very demanding. Yani, forget it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to ease the pace of life. Life is very fast, demanding. You want your energy. You want it. You want to preserve that. Think of energy as that battery scale in your phone. That's your energy. You need to have energy. You need to have joy. Why is that important? Why do you think is that important? You have to take care of yourself ultimately. You are the vehicle. You are the person. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to thrive ultimately. And consequently, you're not going to basically handle your work very well. And most importantly, your relationships, your family values will go to the drain. All right? And that's your investment as you go. So, having heard that, what do you think about rest now? Do you think it's a selfish act, it's a lazy act, or it's a meaningful thing that you need to do? Let me know what you think. So as we end, at Yuwab, we always believe in making people better. We always have great potential, but we really want it to basically be out and we want to shine. Why is that important? Because we want to thrive and thrive as much as we can. One ask, share this episode. I'm sure someone out there would benefit from it. And also it will support me. All right? So until next time, take care of yourself and those who you care about. مع السلامة.